TV every time fire and just keep it in the rest of us, Almighty God, you know. Great man, live on, man. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, man. Pay prophet, man with the 7th down here. Bob Marley, see me now. King, priest, and prophet, Marcus, Garfield, word come to pass. Don't forget about for God, some great man. Prophet, this thing to them, like I come to pass the pagan. Baaba TV, we coming from the grassroots. Babylon, fill out the grass, youth. But Iraq, take out the grass, tube. We not go water down like that, you. Baaba TV, from the grassroots. Babylon, fill out the grass, youth. But Iraq, take out the grass, tube. Baaba TV, no water down like that, you. Just make the truth. They no teach you about Marcus and Farrakhan. Now the great man, Malcolm X. They no teach you about the mystery. But the one no teaching about Buster Manting. You the teaching about Marcus Garvey. You the teaching about the great nanny. We want to know the history about the great Gandhi. Paul Bogle, me want the mystery. Baaba TV, move fire, come the liquor century. All punch up on the mic, well, vice versa. Carl Gandhi incident, and we never forget. Green Bay killing, and we never forget. How many don't trust a man, Babylon big today. Me coming from the grassroots. Baaba TV.
All right, family, peace, greetings. Welcome to another edition of Baaba TV, Every Time Fire. And it's my absolute privilege always to have my Baaba back on Baaba TV. He's no stranger by now to Baaba TV. Shout out to the subscribers. Shout out to everybody on Nine Bingy Drum News. We streaming live on both of my channels. Thank you very much for tuning in. And the brother I am about to bring on is no stranger. He hails from the Washington, D.C., the DMV area. No, you see him there with Dr. Ben. He's a degreed historian in comedic sciences, black history in general. Been all around the world, has been to Kemet with Dr. Ben. Lectured several times, was a personal confidant and friend of the late brother Steve Coakley. So many others. Ran a store up on Georgia Avenue, right across the street from Howard University. And you might as well say as a professor at Howard University, I'm going to say, because he has so many students. I think he took Howard University students and taught them and just so many things. I think he's even been to Jamaica and managed some things over there. I'll let him tell you that. I don't want to go too far into that. But needless to say, he's an elder of mine, taught me most of what I know today. And I'm very proud that he would give me a little bit of his time on Baaba TV to talk about the movie One Love with our brother the son of Bob Marley, pardon me, Ziggy Marley, produced along with the family. I want to first say I can't wait to go see it again. It was just that good. Shout out to the Black Queen. Shout out to Rita Marley. Shout out to the Marley family. That powerful black woman that just stood with Bob throughout everything. Because we know he wasn't a perfect man. None of us are perfect. And before the teacher comes out and teaches, he going to tell you he just going to give his opinion. But he really going to teach us a lesson today. All right, I just want to say my little points and get it out the way. And one, I see on YouTube and so forth, there's an overwhelming love for the movie, but some of us on there is just hell-bent. And there's one thing to critique. You're always going to have your critics. That's any movie, anything that comes out. But some of us seem as though we are just hell-bent on critiquing. We're critiquing each other. And I want to just say that for those of you, and many of you, my Jamaican brothers and sisters on there making the YouTube dollars, and any little gossip you can find, I'm noticing, you just take and run with it. Be careful when you call someone else a sellout that you might not be guilty of that yourself. That's all I want to say, because for $1, do you think all of us as black people want to see you on there tearing your own people down? Do you really think we want to see that? All of us don't want to see that, because you making some YouTube now. You can't wait till somebody just, God forbid, if his family fall out or say one little thing, you just waiting on that. But they standing strong today. The Marleys are standing strong today. Every last one of them. You haven't heard them say a damn word. And if they do, it's none of your damn business. Why would you get it out there? Why would you take great relish and coming out exploiting something like that as another black person? And furthermore, I want to see a movie on Burning Spear, Marcus Garvey. Come on, my family in Jamaica, stand up and make a movie on Burning Spear. Peter Tosh. Don't wait for somebody else to do it. You do it. With that being said, I know I haven't made no friends today, but that's quite all right. That's quite all right. The book say you can't serve two masters. And you white folks, I see you on YouTube, white folks, acting like you love Bob so much. And this one white girl got on there with dreadlocks. Oh, Rita, we love you so much, Rita. And you know, Bob with his woman and so, and he did. You never had a problem with that before. We got plenty of documentaries out there talking about Bob's life. So that's not no new news. Don't get on Brother Ziggy, because he put out a biopic movie on things that he thought and felt as the son were important for us to know about, not necessarily about what the man did, but who he was as a person. And the first thing you got to say, and you can find, is what he didn't put up about other women and stuff. We've been knowing that. You've been knowing that, and it wasn't a problem before. So you're very hypocritical, some of you white folks out there, when you act like you taking up for Bob, you taking up for Rita rather, and that Bob was something sinister about that. You didn't have a problem with it before. So there's a lot of deceit in this so-called critiquing that we have. I hate to bring, the dirt out, but some of us, that's all we want to talk about today. And it seems as though on social media for $1, and some of us just need to back up. It was a good movie. I'm sorry I had to bring this out, but I had to get it out the damn way. I know Tehuti probably gonna spank me for this, but I apologize. But it was on my heart, and I just thought that I had to get those things out the way. Tehuti, I'm done. I like to present to some and introduce the other. My brother, your brother, Brother Tehuti.
You got my mic. Okay. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Baaba TV world. Good afternoon, Naya Bengi world. It's good afternoon. One love to all. I am pleased and honored that you would call me and ask me to say a few words about the movie. I really enjoyed the movie, and I just want to start off by using that term to make sure that everybody understand. Right, this is a movie, a well done movie. A story, a version of part of the life and the works of Robert Nesta Marley, a good brother who brought to the world the feelings, the culture of Jamaica. Brought what was in fact ridiculed by some on the island, but brought out the creativity of the Jamaican from the hills, from the camps, from again the soul of the people, from their own perspective. Remember, you have the roots of Marcus Garvey there. You have the roots of Jamaicans um, understanding the scriptures in their own unique way. The people saw for themselves when there was one man in the world who was crowned king, as Garvey had said. Look to Africa for the crowning of a king. And Selassie manifest. And so a religious movement started. And out of that, there's a musical vibe, a harmony from the religion, from the reading of the scriptures, from the good behavior, the bad behavior, from understanding the allegory of us being in Babylon and telling that to the world. The fun of reggae sunsplash, the Jamaican culture, booming and bubbling for the world to see. So the movie, for me, was a man. I mean, it brought back many, many, many memories. In the late '70s, I took my first trip to Jamaica. PNP and JNP were in the midst of doing their thing in the islands, but we went there anyway. Didn't stay in Trickstown, didn't stay in any of the urban areas. Was fortunate enough to have a couple of friends that took me up to where they lived and grew up, and but got to see Jamaican culture being produced right at it's what you really call the grassroots level, the everyday level, interacting and living with the brethren and sisters and getting to understand uh, their cultural view of how they see the world, how they address the world. It was a great time of learning for me. And I'll never forget those brothers and sisters as my friends there in the culture. Getting the chance to see what was the music growing in its infancy until it exploded worldwide. And one of the primary reasons for the explosion worldwide, again, is what this somewhat is what this movie is about. The introduction of Bob, Peter, and Bunny, and Rita and the I3s, and how they put this thing together early to produce the sounds and the feelings of the of Jamaica. Uh, Again, reggae music is worldwide. There's debate about who owns and controls it, but once a thing hits the world, no one actually controls it. It controls itself. The fact that it can reach the hearts and souls of people from far Asia, to Northern Europe, to Southern Africa, to right here in the heart of Babylon in the middle of the United States. This music has become worldwide. And I think that what Ziggy has produced, from my own personal feelings, right? Uh, this is a young man telling the story of his mother and his father. So it's not your view or their view or this person down the street's view. It's his view of his mother and his father growing up. So it's his feelings, what he wanted to produce and put out there for the world to see. That it was out of the poverty of and the lifestyle of the island itself, the introduction of the brothers to the reggae lifestyle, and the chain, and just rather than just singing and imitating some African American doo-woppers from up here from the '60s. They got serious. Bob got very serious about the lyrics he wrote, talking about the life of coming out of poverty, the oppression of people like us all over the world, and his impact and wanting to change it. Uh, though for reasons not clearly stated in the movie, and they didn't have to be, but the three boyhood friends went their separate ways. And in doing so, the impact of the music tripled. Bunny had his own story to tell, his own music, his own joy to bring to the world. And Bunny Wailer did just that. When Tosh broke away, he had his own lyrics, his own pain, his own story that he wanted to tell, and he did that with his music too. So reggae goes from the one source of Bob Marley, Peter, and Bunny, and it triples to the three of them as artists going out and impacting the whole world. From what wasn't known in the encyclopedias and the dictionaries in the 1950s and 60s will never be forgotten. Like in terms of the history of the world, the substance of this music, and the I call him the king of it, the great ambassador of it. The people of Jamaica themselves, in terms of how tourists are welcome to the island, and they enjoy the culture with other people and bringing the love of the world as Molly wanted to share and show. In one part of the movie, like he kind of talks about it. If you've seen any of the documentaries on his life, you should know a little bit about it. But the fact that his mother and like was a African woman, a black woman, Jamaican woman. His father was a European man, and he picked neither white nor black. He picked what himself, and shared the love down within his heart. Like out toward everybody. Um, I've often said the only thing I think that will unite the peoples of the earth with each other would be an external force coming to, say, attack the people of the earth. And then maybe all the earthlings will understand that they're just one species of one kind here living on this planet, not, like separately, not the biggest and the best thing in the whole universe. And in fact, if we're going to interact in love and peace with the rest of what's in the universe and what have you, we have to learn how to interact correctly with ourselves. We don't need to just continue to wait to see if somebody who's hell bent on gathering up all of the material resources of the earth and hoarding those resources in order to maintain power over the other peoples. That is the heart of the problem. It starts in economics and the desire of one of our kind of wanting to be the master of economics of the whole earth, where the rest of us want to every day as we are resurrected out of our deep sleep. We want to live our life and enjoy all the great things of the universe on that day that we know is here, and not like be caught up in the isms and schisms of a whole lot of negative things. And it's right there in the music when I love the section of the movie that's not talked about enough, and I want to praise the actress who played Rita Marley. I want to play Rita Marley. She left an impression deep in my heart because I could see in that role in her eyes the way she looked at Bob in her role in the movie. I saw pure love, and the fact that she could bring that kind of love in her eyes to the screen, I think tells again part of the deeper story of her of in real life Rita's influence on Bob in his music. You see, when he was exiled in England and had been away from the islands and not really developing anything the way the movie depicts it, when she comes from Jamaica to London with him, all of a sudden the writing, the vibe picks back up. The artistic style that is reinvigorated in Bob, and they put out some great music. Exodus, uh, the album, elevated them to a new level internationally in the whole music world. Uprising, what came afterwards, again, his consciousness, not just about the struggles of himself growing up, like in Trenchtown on the tenement yards and that kind of thing. He took it international. He talked about the uh, struggles that were still going on in South Africa and Zimbabwe. And as he said, he prophetically said, soon we'll find out who are the real revolutionaries. And now we can look back on that period and see which way things went and who was really about the people, not just wanting to come out from underneath the oppression of racism in terms of who was controlling their lives, but coming out from under the oppression of just bad government controlling their lives. So now, here these years later, we can look and we can see. But I often told people back during the late '70s and early '80s, as I too was working and struggling with what at that time the All African People's Revolutionary Party. Here we are bringing a new level of consciousness to the struggle of African people versus the former colonial masters, and trying to not just get free from colonialism, but making sure that we would organize ourselves in a way of not being under the direct control of extreme capitalism. We need to understand the relationship between ourselves and the economic systems that we live under. Anyway, we were trying, like to wake people up politically during that era. And we got the chance. I do know that representatives of the party got a chance to sit down and speak with Peter Tosh and other brothers in the Mutu Peruka. And some of the other brothers got some political social education from brothers that were traveling to not only lift ourselves up out of our present conditions, but making sure that we were lifting ourselves up in the right way. But when you get a project like this that comes out into the world, again, just I praise Ziggy for again using some of the resources to direct the story for the world to see about the love between his mom and his dad, and just as importantly about the conditions and the culture around him that helped him produce the lyrics and the substance of the songs and the circumstances that he was singing about. All of that is in the background of this movie. And again, as I was explaining to Baba when we were talking, no matter what any man do, there's going to be a man somewhere that's going to find something negative to say about it. That is the almost the nature of the world. I hate to put it that way. So yes, there are some people who, if they had the monies, like the millions of dollars that they could produce a movie, there's some aspect of something about Bob Marley's life, perhaps that they heard, and they would want to put that in the movie because that's what they've heard about. They want to put that in the movie. There's some aspect about it, what I mean? Hey, all of us, like the brother said, we're all, when you're living in a sewer like Babylon, you're going to get some whatever's floating in that sewage that's floating with you, living in that sewer. Some of that stuff is going to get on you. So there's always going to be some negativity somewhere that can be exposed. But don't look at that. Look at celebrate the love, celebrate the success, celebrate the one love, the substance of the title of the movie. That Bob wanted to make sure that the people of the earth, that all the children of creation, could come together in unity. Just a wish coming from the bottom of society, from some of the worst circumstances of society. I recently not wanting to be rich, not wanting to be all powerful and have control over everybody else on the globe, but just wanting just to spread the idea. There's one definition of real love. There's only one true love. And it's that one love that Bob came to understand and wanted to sing about. And if you talk, and again, and forgive me for not having the sister's name, the actress who played Rita, but again, her eyes, projected her, the way she projected her image in the filming, was that of a sister really in love with a man, and that love being one of the driving forces in that man's creativity. That I got out of the movie. And I would hope that your youngins, in the future, like this is running through the movie houses now, probably be on some form of social media being streamed within the next year or two. and 3, 4 years down the road, it's going to be on everyday television, being played here, there, and the other. So this movie's been made now. So let us enjoy the love of the music in the movie. Let us enjoy the the excellent acting in the movie. He is a brother, not a Jamaican. Didn't grow up in Jamaica as such, but his craft as an artist and an actor, he was able to go deep down inside and learn and could bring to the silver screen a version of Bob Marley just from the love, like of what Marley was, what he got out of the music, what he learned from the number of people, so many people that are still alive that knew Bob, and he could talk to his sons and his daughter about him and get to learn what he needed to project. And I think he did an excellent job. For the hundreds, I would want to say thousands, but for the hundreds of other people on the island that got a chance to get a little paycheck, got paid, as what you call them, fill-ins, walk-ins, background actors, people on the side, people that was, helping to cater the scene and the whole thing. I mean, this is just not a Ziggy project. He wasn't the only one. Other people got somewhat empowered by participating.
2,200, the reports 2,200 Jamaicans were employed as a result of the movie Tehuti.
That's a beautiful thing. And it's like, and the other thing that you said, now, if the creativity of other Jamaicans who have accumulated a little bit of wealth, there's still great stories. Like the story, like, hey, Peter Tosh, his life story. What's my man's name? Burning Spear. I mean, there was in the music, the stories, the way that you could take a scripture from the book of sacred law and turn it into an experience to sing about in terms of the pain and the strain of living under oppression in the late 20th and early 21st century. Excellently done by artists like Burning Spear. You can think of in fact, Dave, you're going to have to help me with the Naya Bengi brothers that didn't have, I mean, they didn't go to school and learn music with, like formal education. But again, just by playing those, like the drums and harmonizing and singing in the background, again, man, if you're up there in the hills and, you being blessed, like with the holy weed and you all are coming together singing and chanting, from the scriptures of the Bible. Again, it's a beautiful sound, a beautiful thing to experience in person and what have you, and to see how all of this have grown has been part of the seeds that were planted to make a national music out of the people of Jamaica. Again, no one came in with a script. No one came in with a musical score. Again, the music of Jamaica is a self-creation of the people of Jamaica. And here it's reached a point in being highlighted in this film as, again, the life story of one of the kings of the creators of this musical sound. I just think it's just a great thing. I would think that within the this next generation that's here now, that there are more creative people that will use their resources to create a positive rendition, like of the culture, not just on the island of Jamaica. I love Jamaica. My brother said I've only been there 5 times, like in my life. Still not enough, but I love the island of Jamaica. But the other Caribbean, the other peoples of the Caribbeans, we're all African people, one people. We might call ourselves a Trinidadian. We might call ourselves a Jamaican. I mean, there are a lot of names. A lot of islands got names, and a lot of people want to be call themselves by the name that the island is known by. But remember, all the people was brought there in chains and bondage and sold while in captivity into an institution. All were brought there in chains, and were sold into this institution called slavery as such, and then have adopted the name of where the slave ship ended in terms of trying to identify ourselves. But we're just like one love, we're one people, we're one African people, man. And we should enjoy, celebrate, get very serious about and stay serious about our education, uh, not being misled and mistrained into continuing to be pawns in the game controlled by others whose only desire is power and control over the material world. We are a spiritual people, and in spirit, we can raise ourselves and help free ourselves and help clear our mind from all of this pollution, this miseducation and pollution that's been trained and put in there. So we be very careful, especially with this stuff now called social media, where you're getting hits and things from people you don't know, don't have any idea how it was produced or what they're really about. But there's a lot of stuff keeping a lot of turmoil, disunity, and confusion amongst the people that's being really heaped on this generation. Uh, like I think those things that are divine in the universe, for there being no social media when I was a young person. I mean, I'm just thank God it didn't exist then, because I look at how it's really causing a lot of confusion. But then on the other hand, I look at the positive use of it. Brothers like Baaba TV and his outlets for spreading information and music and joy in the culture. You don't have to be a super rich millionaire and sponsored now. Like if you have the kind of mind, you can put out positive things from your own living room, as it were, your own music room, your own basement. You can set up your own studio and put out good information, good renditions, good retelling of our story, not his story, but a retelling of our story from our fall from grace, like our trek through hell and damnation itself, and our and as we're on this road of resurrecting the great people that back to the great people that we used to be, the better people that we will be. Again, we can use some of these tools in that, and again, let it all be led by efforts like what Ziggy Marley and his companies have done in producing this movie about a portion of the life and creativity of Bob Marley. A movie. Let us enjoy the movie. We go to movie. Yeah, you go see James Bond doing all kind of dumb stuff that you go see all these actors doing all these things in movies, and you just keep paying them money and going to see the movies. Hey, what have you? Without the criticism of their culture and how they present it, that you will that some people want to do to us. Don't let that stop you. Don't let ignorance, the lack of knowledge, do not let ignorance be a barrier to your creativity. I'm talking to the younger folk in the viewing audience. To older folk, encourage your younger folk to be creative, to look for the good, look for the goodness in the universe, look for the goodness in creation, look for how you can sing about what is good and useful in life. Uh, think about all the artists that contributed to what has become. I mean, in our lifetime. Again, when I was born, there was no. I mean, there was a Jamaica, but there was Jamaican music, but there was no reggae as such. In my lifetime, I've lived the experience of seeing the creation of from what existed. The little beats here and the little beats there. Yeah, you had tourists going to the islands because they had the money to get out of the northern cities and urban areas during the winter time so they could go to the islands and enjoy themselves during the winter months. The people there and their own culture developing, like again, the musical thing of, going to the islands and that kind of thing. But it mixed with music from other places. And it grew to such a point now where reggae music, like as a music form, like is here in the world, never to leave again, never to leave. And we have again, uh, it, one of the things I think another one of the things that this movie conveys is again the creativity of folk from what was in their heart and in their soul, the creation of that they put out for the world to absorb and to enjoy. And for all of us, wherever we are, that really love and enjoy reggae music of all the forms and all of its forms and artists and what have you, like we all should be thankful uh, that we're getting a chance to see in a visual sense. Like one of the stories. There are there are probably 10 million stories that could be written about, sung about, viewed in reggae music, in the reggae culture. One Love, the story of Bob Marley, is one of those 10 million stories. So there are still stories to be written. There are still there are still messages that our youth has to tell the world in general about how we have to come together in love of what is divine and sacred in that name and build a future society under the auspices of what is divine and sacred, as it were, as we build out of strength and love for each other and thinking about our future. But don't let the critics ruin the day. Let us celebrate again together the creativity of of, of, of Ziggy and his company and bringing to the silver screen this story of Bob and the and his musical journey. Let us be thankful that we've gotten a chance to see some of the things that are acted out from behind the scenes, but what helped make Bob the musical genius that he was. And not just him, but the again, I tip my hat to the brothers, the musicians, in terms of how they sitting around in a sitting around and they could pick up on each other and just pull together a finished product, like in the songs. I just love the way they visualize the creation of the song itself, Exodus. It was just a beautiful thing to see. So, Baba, I hope that I wasn't rambling too long in terms of wanting to, in terms of praising the movie. But again, like the from the form of William Shakespeare, and they talked about his writings where he talked about the death of Caesar, and Mark Antony's famous speech when Mark Antony said, I have not come to praise Caesar but to bury him." Well, I did not come to destroy the creativity that is presented in the movie One Love. I've come to praise it and wish upon the world and all the folks in the culture that had any kind of love for Bob. Go out and see it. Let's make it a success because it is one of our stories. It is one of our stories. So let's go out and see it. And like you, my brother, again, I went to see it the first time. I went to see it. I went to see it alone, so I could sit there and enjoy the moments of it. The next time I go, I'll be going with someone, but I know I'll see this movie more than I know. I've seen it once. I know I'll see it a second time, and I have a good hunch that I'll see it several times while I'm still here, just to enjoy this production. So for all the people in Baaba and Baaba's world, the Nyabingi world, all across the culture. Again, I sing in praise of the movie, and I have nothing but positivity in terms of my reaction to this production. One love, one love.
Peace. Thank you so much, brother Tehuti. And we can keep it short and sweet. The message was very clear and definitive. And I don't, mean to start off so brash, but it was just some things on my heart that I wanted to share with the family. But remember, family, those of you who have YouTube channels and, are so eager, and to my beautiful Jamaican people, remember, when you react so emotionally, sometimes some of us, all you doing is exposing a lot of the stuff that, is deep inside. And there are more important things, I think, to the movie than the things that we are bickering about and our personal grievances about. And if we say we believe in Marcus Garvey, which he came to unite all black people, then don't be so concerned with whether or not the brother was Jamaican or whether or not. It would have been good, I'm sure, for him to, even Ziggy said that. Ziggy said, I wanted to find somebody, you know what I mean? But he said, I had to follow my heart at the same time. And some that say, well, you know, you could have played him. You his son. He said, yeah, but I'm a musician. I'm not an actor. Being an actor is an art form, to be an actor. And I'm like, my brother Baaba Tehuti, I think that he did an excellent job. That brother did an excellent job in the movie. And, you know, it's one love. The one love that Bob was talking about, that if we practice that from each other, don't focus on whether, you know, sometimes we get that concept screwed up. We think one love means, you know, everybody. Maybe eventually, but if you look at Bob's life, he showed you that it first started in his own community. So we got to practice that love first among each other before it can spread abroad. And on that note, I want to say thank you to my brother Tehuti. One love, y'all. One love. And go see that movie. Go see that movie.
Please.
Peace. We out.
Peace.